Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a book review on the book City of Women. This is by David Gillam and I finished reading it a couple of days ago, so I wanted to do a review while it's still fresh in my mind. If you want to see my direct, straight after first opinions on the book, then I will link my Goodreads page down below, and that is where I wrote, straight after I finished reading it, my first thoughts on the book. So this book is set in 1940 Germany during the Second World War, and the main protagonist is a woman and wife called Sigrid Schroeder, I think is how you pronounce it. She is the wife of a soldier who is out on the Eastern Front, and she lives in a flat in Berlin with her mother-in-law, who, needless to say, she doesn't get on very well with. So this follows how Sigrid is adjusting to life during the war, living with her mother-in-law, but it also shows how she befriends one of the other neighbours in her apartment building. So the woman that Sigrid befriends in her flat actually helps prisoners and Jewish people and any other people trying to escape the Nazis. Another part of the storyline is that Sigrid actually has an affair with a Jewish man, and that whole part of it was like really shocking to me. The whole book was quite shocking in the sense it's very raw, it's very sexualized, it doesn't really hold many boundaries when it comes to writing about the experience. I definitely wouldn't recommend this book for anyone younger than sort of 16, 17, because some of the language, like even for me, and I'm 18, I thought some of it was just a bit raw and a bit too descriptive, really. And yeah, it was just very sexual, and at times it was a little bit abusive. So that's something to bear in mind going into this book. It's not a whole lot, but it's something to be aware of. I also found that in this book they were very sort of open about affairs, not only back at home, the wives went off with men, but on the front line when men openly went with women. Even like the government were setting up places that women could go to boost morale, and that was just something that I'd never read in any book before. I don't know if you can see down here and up here I have quite a lot of books on the Holocaust. I'm very interested in that time period. I studied modern history, so that whole time in Germany and Europe during the Second World War, I studied all about that. My dad's side of the family is Jewish. I don't know if I've said this in a previous video, but yeah, I'm just overall really interested in the time period, and it's something that I've read a lot of the books, both fiction and non-fiction, and it's something that I have never come across before, is that aspect of both sides having the affairs and it being played out so casual between the characters. I don't know how true that is to real life because it is a fiction novel, but if what's in here is somewhat even just loosely based on what happened, then it is quite surprising. When I finished reading this book, I was just a bit, I don't want to say underwhelmed. I didn't feel I had much attachment to the characters. There was nothing that I could relate to about them, obviously, but I just didn't really warm to them that much. Even the main protagonist, I just couldn't warm to. On Goodreads, I did rate this as 3 out of 5 stars for that reason. Plotline was good, but yeah, it's not been my favourite book. And I haven't said too much about the actual plotline of this book, but it's somewhat hard to talk about it without giving away details. As always, I'll read the back of the book and maybe that will help summarise it better than I can. Berlin, 1943, a city of women. With her husband on the Eastern Front, Sigrid Schroeder is the model soldier's wife, going to work, making do with the rations, even dutifully caring for her difficult mother-in-law. But there is another Sigrid, the woman who dreams of a Jewish lover now lost in the chaos of war, and this Sigrid has to make a fateful decision, whether to hide her lover's family. Suddenly, the smallest choices have undreamed of consequences. An ordinary woman caught in extraordinary times, Sigrid must find the strength not just to keep herself alive, but also save the lives of others. So that just sort of sums it up a little bit better than I can. It's definitely a book that I would suggest reading, but I wouldn't run to reread it again. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I'll link all kinds of social media down below, including my Goodreads page, and also link my corresponding blog post to this book down below if you want to go and have a little read of that. One other quick little note I want to talk about is on my blog I have written a post on why I left university. At some point I might do a video on it. I might even make just a quick little typed up video just so it has something of its own. But basically, short story, I left university after a week. If you want to know more about that and my reasons why, I will link it down below. And until my next video, I'll see you soon. Bye guys!